you don't, you walk up and try to hook up with a chick in a bar, right? You don't like, hey, you want to go home? Follow me. And then they're like, and then you can't call that way either, right? I mean, it's not elk are the same way.
Wait a minute. When I was 18, that worked.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I try to explain it to people like when you're trying to put the moves on somebody, once you get to that, final where you're closing the red zone, you don't want to stop when you're like on the 6-yard line and be like, hey, follow me. Well, you see guys call like that, right? And they're you're purring and they're coming in, and all of a sudden you grab that box call and they're 16 yards out and you're like, wah, 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 and they're like, what the hell just happened?
Morning. Welcome to this week's episode of the Stickbow Chronicles, brought to you by Blackwidow Bows. As you already heard, this is an empty quiver episode with Aaron Snyder, and you heard he's already dropping some solid dating advice. So the guy's got guy's solid all the way around. Let's see. If this episode sounds a little funny, I don't think it will, but if it does, it's probably because I was finishing up editing in the turkey blind this morning. I got up, figured I was going hunting, and realized I had not edited this week's episode. So took the computer and my Bluetooth headphones and went and sat in the blind. So getting her done. What else we got going on? Oh, if you guys, I know if some of you aren't aware, we've been doing a little bit of Facebook Live stuff. So last night I had Randy Cooling on Facebook Live, and it's kicking the pants. We did about an hour. Folks asking questions. It's really kind of relaxed, just fun BS session. I'm going to dump the audio probably Wednesday. So it's not like a regular episode. I just grab the raw audio and put it out there, kind of COVID relief, we'll call it. So you ought to come by, and I try to announce them on Facebook, and I announce it on Instagram when we're going to do one of these. We did Matt Zernzak, I think last week. I had Kevin Barr and Brian Burkhardt, Jim Eck. We've had a bunch of really cool dudes on. And yeah, it's been really fun, and I'm kind of leading up to trying something else there on live, and I do it on Facebook Live because I don't have a very big following on YouTube. So yeah, just haven't done much with YouTube. So I tried actually. Now that I think about it, this recording is on YouTube. So if you want to see some visual, go over to YouTube. And yeah, I forgot all about that. Aron and I actually recorded this on YouTube Live. So be looking for that. Hope all you guys and gals are staying sane with this whole COVID BS. Not that it's not serious. I don't mean BS by that it's not serious. But, I know some politicians have made some really poor decisions, and some of you folks can't hunt or fish right now, which is completely bizarre. I won't get into that. But let's see. What else? Let's just hit the sponsors and get out of this segment. I want to say thanks to Selway Archery, Kifaru International, The Footed Shaft, and of course, Blackwidow Bows. As I was putting this together, I was over on Terry and Barb's page, The Footed Shaft, and I saw some April specials they have that you folks are going to want to run over there and just take a look at. Caught my eye, the Footed Shaft, footedshaft.com, or just follow the link in the show notes here. Just run over there and check them out. We'll get through this. There's light at the end of the tunnel. I'm not sure if it's train or it's daylight, but we'll figure it out together, huh? Enough lip-flapping. Let's get after it. Roger out. Hey, what's going on, Aaron?
Not too much. It's a great day in Colorado. I think it was -3 at my house and snowing like crazy.
That's springtime, isn't it?
Yeah, that it's a little worse this year than normal though.
Just taking longer to break.
Yeah, it was nice. Day before yesterday, it was probably 60 degrees. We went and shot 3Ds, and then woke up and it was snowing, and it hasn't stopped since.
You've been getting out and doing much hiking? I hope not.
Yeah, I've been having the wife drop me off. Oh, anywhere from 2 to 4 miles to the house. We live on a mountain, so she drops me off towards the bottom. She goes sometimes, and then we, snowshoe somewhat. But right now, the snow's just enough where snowshoes aren't working very well. So, but we head to Texas tomorrow, and I think I got 4 turkey tags down there, and then I think we're going to try and shoot some pigs as well.
Man, yeah, pigs. I got to get back to pigs. Those things are just awesome.
I got to say, man, you didn't make your bed.
I don't generally, this doesn't make any sense. But my wife, she has other ideas. So,
yeah, Amy, that doesn't happen. It's in fact, I'll go to get back in it, and it's already made, and I'm like, well, shit.
If you look, she's going to be scurrying across the camera. She hates live stuff. So how was Nebraska?
It was good, man. It was started off a little bit slow. Well, I mean, there was a ton of birds, for people, it's weird, right? Wherever you hunt turkeys, it's different, everywhere. In Nebraska, depending upon where you're at, early season, there's you can have 80, 90, 100, 150 birds in a flock. They don't split up, just like elk early season. And that's what we were faced with there. And it's funny, last year when Jake and I went, we packed in a bunch of decoys, and we had posted a photo. I had a 8,000 cubic inch pack. And of course, the monkey section dives in. All I need is a slate call and 1 decoy. All I need is this. And it's like, well, and anybody from Nebraska or Kansas was like, yeah, man, when you're trying to pull them out of a flock, you got to have as many decoys as you possibly can, because, 80 birds don't care about 1 bird. They're not going to come over and say, hey, Helen, what's going on? They just don't come over. So it's kind of different tactics, just like elk. I hate to say turkey hunting's like elk, but there is some similarities before I get some hate mail. And so, as far as, the early season, late season, whatever, depending upon where you're at, a little bit different, the farther west you go, as far as different tactics.
When does that season open? I mean, man, it seems like it's super early.
March 25th for bow season in Nebraska.
Wow. And you're hunting big ag land. Those are big flocks, right? They're all flocked
that's
up.
What it is. It's big ag land, and then they drop into these timbered bottoms. And that's what we focused on. We were able to get, guys were asking if it was, guided, which I don't know. I've never been on a guided turkey hunt. I haven't been on very many guided hunts at all, but we just find landowners and we'll trade them, beer or money or whatever to trespass on their land. And so it's funny. I forget not everybody understands the lingo. I said, we paid a trespass fee, and people were messaging me, I can't believe you admitted that. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't I? I'm not trying to hide anything. It's private land. You got to pay the piper, you got to pay the toll road. Well, they thought I meant I got a ticket. And I'm like, well, no, I wasn't trespassing. I paid a trespass fee. I was like, you pay a guy, a couple, $300, $400, $500 or whatever, you figure it out with the landowner, and he lets you come on his land. It's, you do it out here in Colorado too. I mean, it's just sometimes, for elk, you'll pay just to cross, right? Like guys will charge you to cross their land to get on national forest or whatever. So that's what we did. We found a guy last year, Jake did, and we just paid a trespass fee and went out there. But Jake killed 2 the first day. Amy killed 1 the first day. Amy's was spot and stock, and then Jake's were out of a blind. He shot 2 at one time, but not at one time, but 2 about 30 seconds apart. And then I didn't shoot mine till, in fact, you were messaging me, giving me crap. I think I shot mine on day 3 and 4 or 2 and 3. I shot one afternoon, and then the next one the next morning. And I had all I wish there was film. I had 150 birds come by me. It was crazy.
First off, I think it was like day 9 and 10. You were down there for, how do you think, you get any hate mail from these guys down in Tennessee and Louisiana and, where they hunt for weeks to kill one bird and you're
I know, but I'm sure
laying waste like ethnic cleansing.
Last year I shot 3 birds at one time in one day in Texas, and that was literally just like, hey, can we hunt here? And with the turkeys in when you go down in like Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, or like Pennsylvania, you have to be a really good turkey hunter. I am not, and I can shoot relatively okay and I can call okay, but if I had to put that much effort into shooting a turkey, I'd probably go hiking. Because it's just, they're fun to hunt, but I've hunted them on public land here in Colorado and killed a few, and it can be tough hunting here. It can be super easy here too, depending upon where you're at. But I've hunted like the full TV show run and gun, owl hooter, crow call, following them, and we just set up a blind and some decoys
and some snacks. I've seen lots of snacks.
Lots of snacks and a heater, and they'll eventually come by you. It's a different style of hunting, and we move the blinds if we need to, of course, and obviously if out here we can pattern the roost and the feed a little bit easier, so we know if it's ag land, especially if there's feedlots and cattle, they're going to be wandering through all over the place, and so there's a decent idea they're heading to ag land at some point. So if you can figure out where they're heading in early season, you're just sitting and waiting. They're not coming to calls so well. And later on, it's awesome. You'll get 4 or 5 birds coming in at one time. It is truly unfair for guys that actually have to go hunt one bird. And
it might help though if you throw out terms like got this one down in the holler. We're up on the ridge with lots of acorns.
Guys like, hey, you should come out and hunt a real bird. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. I like hunting dumb turkeys. I've made that very clear multiple times. I like to shoot the stupid ones. And when I say that, meaning there's nothing wrong with, if that's your thing. It's super cool to do that. And I've done it before. It's expensive. It's a long ways. It's, an 18 to 24 pound bird. And I love hunting turkeys. I just love hunting the ones that are really easy to kill. And if I was into it more, I'd probably, travel a little bit more. And by all means, I've hunted some areas that are really difficult in Missouri and in Minnesota. And that's when I lived there. So it made more sense. Like, it's pretty hard for me to travel across 6 states to go hunt a turkey. As fun as it is, But
when you can find them at the grocery store, all wrapped up.
I get made fun of. Ryan Avery, he's a Coeur d'Alene boy. I've never been called gay in so many ways about hunting turkeys than by him. It's bad. We kind of got similar turkeys, the fishing game, like they'll have to go to somebody's farm and shotgun like 100 of them because of complaints. And it literally, they'll go in a shotgun that many birds to get them out of a feedlot or something. But we'll have a few that run up in the mountains. I've got one of the spots that I whitetail hunt. They're actually dispersed and they're in the mountains. And man, there ain't anything funner than having a kid and chasing turkeys. Not sitting in a blind. You're moving and setting up and calling them in. And yeah, it is fun, but it's not my go-to thing for sure. Yeah, and I don't think, what I wanted to cover today, because I have so many questions about turkey hunting, is one, what I know, and one, what you definitely shouldn't be asking me. And then some of the different failures I've run into, because I've been lucky enough, I have shot a ton of turkeys, and guys occasionally will be like, oh, you've really gotten into turkey hunting lately, and I'll shoot them a photo of 09 and, where with a bunch of turkeys. It's not my, for example, I don't give coaching for archery much. and I don't give calling classes on elk much. There's other people way better at that. But what I have learned is like decoy setups, ground blind issues, broadhead issues, some of the different trials and tribulations throughout the course of time of a green turkey hunter, because even though it's kind of like whitetail hunting, even though I've shot a ton of whitetails, I am by no means a guy that you want to say, hey, here's my 400 acres. How should I set this up? I'd be like, I don't know, because I just do what I'm told.
I don't know, but when you get it set up, I'll come sit there.
Yes, that is exactly right. And with turkeys, it's no, different. If a guy like a really good turkey hunter comes out to hunt elk, if he's giving advice the next year, I probably wouldn't listen to him. And I just, I've always been fortunate enough to have good enough land, and I can call good enough to, make it happen. And one of the things like ground blinds, what ground blind do you use? And I always kind of make the comment, what's really big and on sale? And that is no lie. If you're shooting a recurve, you're going to need a fairly tall blind, 68 inches at a minimum, but I try to go 6 foot. The window, the height of the window is extremely important. I like the triangle corner windows or the vertical corner windows where they kind of go top to bottom. The other thing too, with ground blinds, not all blinds are made the same. If you buy a cheap blind, you're going to get the durability of a cheap blind. One of the things though is get rid of if you're going to leave it up for a while or even overnight in the wind, the stakes that come with it, just shit can those. It'll blow away. I have literally, Jake and I were talking about, probably lost at least 6 to 7 ground blinds to the wind god, or one stake held. So it literally just bouncing in circles, getting shredded. So we get those cheap, big tent stakes that are, 8 inches long. They got a plastic end, silver. They're made for putting like a wall tent. I've used those MSR groundhogs because I had them at the house and grabbed those. But you want to stake the guy outlines real tight on to keep the hubs out on those, or you're going to be in deep trouble for wind. And then the windows, like I said, you really want to make sure the window height and your chair height you're going to clear it. Amy shot the blind last year. She actually shot a wood blind this year. I clipped the blind twice last year. It's not a big deal if you clip the blind for durability. You're probably not going to hit what you're aiming at. And also you got to watch out for the cross members. I've seen people clipping the hub before the carbon.
Oh, that'd be bad.
Rods. Yeah, Amy shot it last year. We got her duct taped up. It was her first time turkey hunting. In fact, when she shot it, I about pooped my pants because I was like, what was that? I didn't even catch it that she hit that. I thought she hit the edge, but she shot the carbon rod. And then I looked and there were splinters coming out of it. She ended up killing the bird. It was a huge bird.
With that, not with that shot.
No.
Yeah.
I don't even
Second
know where
shot
that
or
arrow
something.
went. To be honest with you. But the other thing too I get asked about is mesh. I shoot through the mesh with mechanicals. When I shot a compound, I shoot through the mesh with the stick. I have zero issues. Now, you're not going to shoot a gobbler guillotine or a decap, a bullhead. Don't shoot those through the mesh. But a standard mechanical or a standard fixed blade, I have zero issues. And one of the birds I shot, although I'm sure I'm going to get yelled at this year, was 36 yards, and the other one was 28. Zero issues.
Nice work. You shot a mechanical through that?
I bet I've shot 30 turkeys with a mechanical with a compound.
Through the mesh?
Yeah, no issue.
I'll be damned.
Well, and you know how I am with testing. It's tested. I tested. I mean, I was worried because I'm like, it'll open, and maybe some broadheads would, but all the mechanicals I tested, they didn't open. And out to 40 yards, zero issues with point of impact. Now, you got to understand, if you never hunted in a blind and you want to, like, let's say you got your kid or your wife or a new hunter, go just put yourself in the blind and have him walk up to the edge of the blind. As far as wearing camo in a blind doesn't always make sense unless that's just the warmest thing you've got.
Yeah.
You want to dress like you're about to rob a bank in the middle of the night. You want to be in black, like all black. And backlighting is something that catches everybody. You don't want any light coming in from behind you. You got to black out. Like if it's a super dumb turkey, even they will at least look in to be like, hey, there's a dumbass white dude inside, like, or a brother, whatever. They're going to notice that there's something in their home that wasn't there, and then there's something inside of that little cave that is now in their home. Like, oh, there used to be a field here, and now there's a little box, and there's a dude inside of it. So to get a big bird to come in, you really have to focus on blacking out everything behind you and trying to just keep one section of one window open. Or if you have the front, open on your blind, the back and the sides are closed. Now, it's not as important the dumber the bird you get, just like anything. But you get, even Nebraska birds that are dumb, you get a big old, rope dragging the ground beard. They're probably not coming into that blind if you're in there moving around. Like the first time looking around, seeing if they're coming, don't do that. They're going to see you. Turkeys have good vision and they can see color. So you got this big white face, right? And it's moving around, looking out windows. That's bad, right? I mean, they're going to catch you. So you want to make sure and keep that blind blacked out. And the mesh is just another camouflage factor. It's harder for them to see through that mesh.
I mess around. I have a blind that I set up, and I mess around with it a little bit for turkeys. One thing that aggravates the hell out of me is how do you stand your bow up, or do you stand your bow up in that thing?
No, I don't. When I had a compound, they have some bow stands that work kind of. The thing is, like with those bow stands, it doesn't, you can't use it with a stick bow. So with a stick bow, if it's colder weather, you can stand it on the corner. The thing is if that bird's close and you pull it off, the chance of it going is pretty good. And so if it's windy, it's just going to be making noise and probably blow down. The other thing, in antelope hunting, I've twisted a limb from it leaning against at an angle.
Really?
100 some degrees inside of a blind, you're going to twist a limb.
Yeah.
So you got to worry about that. I actually take all my broadhead, my arrows out. I lean them up where they're not going to slide. And so when I'm sitting there, I just put it with the quiver down so I can reach down and grab the riser and literally just grab it right in front of me and pick it up and make sure it's clear. And that's another thing when you're talking about getting stick bow close, even though 28, 36 yards isn't real close, you make sure you get as much out of the floor of the blind as you can moving around. Because a lot of times a bird will come in one way, especially big toms when they're strutting up, and he may came to one side of the blind and he may hook around putting on a show. And you've got to open that blind window up on the other side and pivot. And if he starts, again, he's got a brand new box in his home and there's some dude moving around in it and he's hearing stuff breaking, harder for it to come in. So you want to make the noise as minimal as possible. And then I try to block the light of the bottom of the blind out with my pack or whatever clothing, because light will come in from the bottom of the blind as well. So those are all things you want to take into consideration, depending upon if you got a sliding window blind or hooks. There's a ton of different ones. Make sure the most, when you're assessing where the turkey may come from, if you've got it locked up, like Fort Knox, and then next thing you know, you're trying to unhook stuff and your bow's laying on the ground, you got broadheads over here, you want to be generally ready, because the turkeys, we set them up to try and shoot them with a stick at 8 to 10 yards, right? We're putting those decoys at 8, 10, 12 yards, maybe 15. You want to make sure those decoys are facing to the blind. A lot of guys, you'll see them facing away. The turkey's just going to circle out even farther and face that decoy. So, you want to face that decoy to the blind. Now, here's something I just had happen. Those photos I just posted on Facebook, I don't know if you saw them, of all those birds coming up the hill.
Oh, yeah.
So I come in, I've already killed 2 birds. I come in to kill my 3rd. Jake's working. I'm like, dude, I'm going to go out and I'm walking this. You got the ag field up here, and I'm walking down the rim of the ag field and I'm just listening for gobbles, and I got a crow call. Boom, I hear them and I'm like, okay, well, they're either going to come up and roost above me or probably feed and then roost, common sense. Run down, grab the blind, come back. I get my strutter out. I've got my fan out. I've got one bedded hen. I've got a Jake facing behind her. They're all facing me. And I'm like, okay, it's last year around April 6th. We were calling in birds. We're probably going to be able, because early season, they don't like decoys sometimes, unless you got a pile of them. Even then, a lot of times they'll see those decoys and they bounce. So I'm thinking these decoys are going to work. So all these toms come up the hill. I'm talking ropes dragging the ground like big, like 28, 30 pounders. They come up, I start purring a little bit, and I start clucking, and I'm like, why are they not coming? Well, my freaking tom, my strutter, the wind's blowing. It's spinning in circles like a top, right? And I couldn't see it from where I had it set because I had decoys here and here for if they came to my left. So I've got that window shut. That thing's spinning so fast, the fan's folding over and popping back up. It's like one circle color, and it's spinning fast. I'm sure I should have had something propped it up. Again, I'm not a professional turkey hunter. I'm like, what the hell? So they over there, they mess around and they leave. And I'm like, so I think I hear something behind me, and I slide the window down. I look over. Sure as shit. My decoy's literally doing about 6 to 10 full circles every 5 seconds. I mean, it's cranking, and I'm like, this thing looks like it's an exorcism. It's possessed. No wonder they didn't come over. So either way, the decoys, early season, sometimes they don't work, and there'll be guys that chime in on here. So I'll be interested to see. And I think you'll notice, like in different areas, we had them, they weren't coming into the decoys where we were. And I had buddies in Missouri, or wherever they were, coming in and tackling them. Colorado, I had guys coming in, early tackling the decoys. So we have not had in Kansas and Nebraska super early the best of luck with decoys. Sometimes they get a little skittish until they really start cranking.
Yeah, I've seen that where they'll come in and thrash the decoy, and that would be awesome. But no, I think I get out what I put into it, and it's not much. I got birds coming in and looking at my deeks, but they'll stay out 80 yards, and I don't know. I was taught, early on to get them to the deeks to face your blind or your setup. So I was on that. And what about calling? Do you call much?
I do. Jake, he doesn't call much. Jake's pretty much he'll call, but he's not a big caller. I've had such good luck with calling, but it bites me too sometimes because, depending on earlier season, I may call and they may not, they'll come in and see those decoys and then they'll kind of bounce out, where Jake will just sit there and they may see those decoys and just slowly come in. And maybe if I was a better caller, it'd be, a different scenario. But like once they kick in, I can call. They come in. They're flying in. And this, the one bird that I killed, my first one, I have a box call and I have 2 slate calls. One's an actual slate call and one's like a crystal, basically. One's you can use in weather or whatever. Anyway, one of them, they just make different noises. So I always looked at it, again, like elk hunting. If I'm trying to make a lot of noises, different noises, I'll hit this one slate call and the other, and then the box call. The box call I use a lot too. It's real raspy. It's a lynch. When they first kick in, they can't resist that lynch call. Once they start cranking, Amy was laughing. I'd hit that thing and like 6 strutters would just fire off heads, just, and
That's awesome.
She thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Well, the thing is once they get fired up, it's no different than any other animal. As they get closer, you don't, you walk up and try to hook up with a chick in a bar, right? You don't like, hey, you want to go home? Follow me. And then they're like, Jesus. And then you can't call that way either, right? It's not, elk are the same way.
Wait a minute. When I was, so when I was 18, that worked.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I try to explain it to people, like when you're trying to put the moves on somebody, once you get to that, final where you're closing the red zone, you don't want to stop when you're like on the 6 yard line and be like, hey, follow me. Well, you see guys call like that, right? And they're you're purring and they're coming in, and all of a sudden you grab that box call and they're 16 yards out and you're like, wah, 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 and they're like, what the hell just happened? And they'll blow out. Elk do the same thing. Now, there's certain scenarios that are obviously different. Well, the closer they get, I'll just start to purr, and the purring, like with moose, right? You get a moose when he's going step for step. Don't call. Don't do shit. He's coming. You get a guy calling back to that moose is going to think crazy ex-girlfriend. He's going to bounce. With a lot of times with the bird, where you get one to respond like that and he's firing away and he's coming closer, stop calling. And hopefully some professional turkey killers that are, I don't want any internet professionals, right? Like true turkey killers. And there's a lot of good ones out there. This is what I learned from. It's not like I learned all this on my own, right? Like, same with moose. When that bird and that moose, whatever, when he's coming in step for step and he's coming. You don't need to screw it up. He's already committed. When that bird's firing away coming in, there's no need to keep calling, right? He's coming. Now, there's other times where you'll see him milling around and look or whatever. You have to entice him a little bit more. That is where turkey hunting for me is super fun. What Jake and I did is fun, but man, when they come into the calls, like hopefully we get in Texas, like you just start. Last year I shot one bird in Texas. Where it died, the fan was doing this, blowing up, going down. We got out to get it, and there was turkeys running from every direction. Like these ones were coming from 300 yards away.
Watching that fan go up and down?
Oh, we had to dive back in the blind. Scott was like, oh, Jesus, they're coming. Well, when you get a response like that and you've killed enough elk, you know when one's coming to eat your Snickers.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a certain lingo and a rapport you have with every animal when you're calling them. And sometimes you just get lucky and they come, right? You just throw a bunch of stuff at them and hope for the best. When you try to kill a big tom, an old mature tom, generally you're not going to get away with just throwing everything at them. You're going to have some common sense behind the birds. And again, at a distance, I hit the box call. And usually when you hit the box call, I try to hit 3 to 5 in a row. And it's just like, hey. And then they go silent and they're listening for a gobble. They wait a little while and I'll hit it again. Generally, that's what I'm doing. I'm a hen and I'm yelping. And when I hear that reply, generally you're going to hear it again closer and you know he's coming, and you don't want to go too crazy with that calling. You just want him to keep coming. If you got a decoys and a blind and everything, if you're trying to do it on the ground, you really don't want him to know exactly where you're at first. And then once you see him come up, like again, I'm going to lower down my calling. And again, there's going to be guys that hop on here and know way more than me, and it'll be interesting to have, what they have to say. But the worst thing that I've ever seen happen, including for me, is you get excited and it's coming in, you grab that box call and you're like, bah, 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 and he's like, and it's no different if you're trying to pick up a chick. I mean, I try to tell that to guys all the time when I'm and I don't teach calling much, but when you call elk, when you know that bull's coming in, you know you can get away with just about anything. He's screaming and you're hitting an estrus call, he's coming. But if you're trying to entice him in and he gets close, and all of a sudden you take a Primos call out of people know, a hyper lip single or double, and you just, he's 30 yards out and you're like, nah, nah. He's not in the mood yet. You're trying to get him in the mood. He's going to be like, Jesus, that chick's crazy. He's probably going to take off. But, when you're hooking up with a chick and you can get away with just about anything, that's no different than calling turkeys or elk. You can throw in a little bit more, but generally if you do that, they're going to bounce.
I got a buddy that's from Missouri, grew up killing turkeys with a bow, and we're talking real turkeys, right? Real smart stuff. He was always big on setting up in the brushy stuff. And it's kind of like elk hunting. It's easy to get, well, it's not easy, but you're more likely to get in range
when they're looking for something, as opposed to what you do, or, what I kind of do is, setting out in these big opens where they can see, right? So he's killing them, years ago, like laying in the brush, calling, no deeks, and the toms are coming, searching.
Oh yeah. And those guys those are the masters, right? I mean, Brian, Broderick from Alabama, Day 6 Brian.
Yeah.
He's killed so many, it's not fun for him anymore. That dude can voice call with his mouth, like meaning no diaphragm, no nothing.
Really?
I mean, those are actually turkey hunters. I'm more of a turkey killer, right? They know what they're doing. We're running around all over Alabama, poison ivy everywhere, snakes and shit, trying to kill a bird. And now keep in mind, I don't know how many turkeys I've killed, but it's 40 or 50. I still don't know what I'm doing, right? I've still got a decent idea, but nothing spectacular. This bird's 100 yards away. He's telling me to draw my bow. It's coming. And I'm like, what do you mean it's coming? Dude, that thing came right in and just starts. I'm shooting. This is when I shoot in the compound. I got a hinge, and this bird won't stop molesting my decoy. It's flying in the air, like double chop. And I'm like, and right when I shoot and I hit the top of it, I blew feathers off the top. And then actually we had another dude with us that shot at it 3 times with a shotgun, and he missed too, so I didn't feel as bad. But that's a turkey hunter, right? And those guys like that are amazing. And where with me, I'm like most other guys, I've got enough to get by and enough to be successful. But man, there's an art to, just like elk, there's an art to calling them in. And these different things I'm talking about, like last night, somebody asked what broadhead for turkey. I just said the widest one you can get to fly. Well, several somebody said, and a sharp one. I dole my broadheads. I don't shoot sharp broadheads. I don't want that broadhead to go through them. I'm sure people will fire back with this, but I would much rather hit it with a broadhead that's semi-sharp and stay in it than a super sharp head ripping through them. Because the last time I checked, when they fly off, pretty hard to track them. So I like that arrow to stay in them. And now when I shot a compound, I shot a giant mechanical and zipped right through them. But with a stick, man, there's nothing better than watching that arrow. It basically slow motion, because you're only shooting 175, 80 feet per second, launch and stick in when I'm shooting those nocturnals. That one I hit, I shot instinctual. I didn't range it, and I just kind of went with my gut, which ended up being a lot farther than I thought it was, and just hit it, and I just see that nocturnal flipping, and it hits the ground. I'm like, holy cow, I waylaid that thing. Well, like that bird, for example, they were roosted. They all come out of the roost. Jake was about 100 yards to my left. They go into this creek bottom, and I've got all my deeks stood up. Probably 150 birds walked by, and there's hens just cranking at my decoys. Toms aren't paying attention. They're just kind of wandering around. The toms come up, and we were doing so good. We were 4 for 4 with one arrow, one kill. That never happens with turkeys, right? So these birds come up, and I try and shoot one coming at me at 22 yards, and dude, I hit a branch on the way to that thing, and turkeys just flew everywhere. I didn't know what was going on. They all circled to my right. Remember, I was talking about the blind windows. I was able to, because the way I was set up, I was on my knees, pivot over, and I was able to pull that blind window down. There were sliders. And when that bird came over, I shot that with it's a cutthroat wide cut. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're out yet.
Is it more than just 2 blades?
No, it's a 2-blade 1 5/8 wide.
Okay.
Head. And, I zipped through that, the blind, and the broadhead was sharp. But when I hit it, I broke both wing bones and just flipped it. Well, and I'm going in all kinds of directions. While we're talking about shooting a turkey, you shoot at the bottom of the upper third of the bird. A lot of people don't aim in the right spot. The general rule of thumb, what I try and teach Amy or anybody is, it's better to be high. Hit them high, watch them die. Hit them low, watch them go. That's every turkey hunter that actually is good has told me that. Now, if you hit them low and hit them in the legs, which I've done, they don't go very far. But you hit them high, you got a good chance of breaking their back hitting a wing bone or whatever. So, depending, and you're only hitting something, not that big to kill them. So, when they're at full strut, it's hard to tell exactly where to hit them at. So I try to just hit them upper mid body and hope for the best.
So when you shoot, you say that the bottom part of the top third, are you like wing butt in front of the legs? What about left to right, front to back?
I try to simplify it with most people. Just go up the leg so you don't get too confused. There's great turkey anatomy videos on YouTube and stuff, or you can Google it. In general, though, most guys freak out and peak when they shoot and they blow off feathers a lot of times when they're first. I think Amy missed 7 or 8 times before she killed one. She never hunted. So trying to talk to her about adrenaline, and then they're not stopping. And these birds were cranking pretty good. So they're strutting up and gobbling like crazy. She's shitting her pants, right? She never, 8 birds flying around in front, hammering this decoy, and she's winging arrows all over Hell's Half Acre. She just wasn't ready for it. And finally, I'm like, look, it's a bird, right? We're a dominant predator. We buy these at the store, honey. Calm down. Like, it's not, she's getting too hyped up about it. And she's killed a bunch of them now. I mean, she hit that one that we were on spot and stock, and there was like 30 birds in a group. I'm like, how the hell am I going to tell her which one of these to hit? 14th from right to left, and finally the biggest one just struts up. I'm like, shoot that one now. And she flipped it. They hardly ever die where you hit them.
Have you
I'm looking left and right of this dirt mound, and I'm like, shit, where'd it go? She's like, it's right there. It died right where she hit it. Went 2 yards. I was like, holy cow. It was a big bird too.
Was that monster she shot last year?
That was this year. The one she shot last year is the largest turkey I've ever seen. I'm weight wise.
Yeah. You ever get the shot where they're fanning and you get their butthole aimed at? That's like my dream shot. When their fan is blocking all their view and you got a good aiming point.
I did last year, except I shot it right through the tail feathers, and there's a triangle going through it. We got photos of it. There's a VPA 3 blade going right through the fan. Scott was like, Jesus, Aaron. And we took photos of it. There's a perfect 3 blade right through the middle of the fan, straight up from his butthole. And I don't know what I did. I didn't hit it. I probably peeked. It was, it wasn't one of my finer moments. It's hard with turkeys just because, there ain't much to hit. But you got somebody asking questions?
No, Tyler said the sound went out. Like I said, I'm just seeing how well this is going to work. You ever shoot your decoy?
I had a boredom a long time ago. Yeah, I haven't done it in a long time because I don't have that much boredom. Lately, we've been in good turkey hunt spots, but I may have shot my man. What was this? Dave Smith, maybe, I think was a decoy. It was an expensive decoy. I think it was a Dave Smith. This was in 2003, maybe. I was in Missouri, and I shot my decoy out of boredom. We were in Missouri. But no, I got Avion X's. They're blow up. You don't want to shoot one of them. They don't blow back up. So I don't shoot Avion X's.
I shot a deke one time. It's kind of a long, drawn out story, but I was leading a bird, and you're locked on, leading him. He's getting excited, and I shot just as he was crossing my decoy, and just pounded the decoy, just drilled it, and it makes that flap sound, and the bird gets up and he's flying. Well, the guy calling for me behind me is in a cast from his hip down. He hears the sound and sees the commotion. He's on crutches trying to get through the brush. Nice shot. The freaking decoy's laying out in the field. Like, yeah, dude, that was my deke.
Oh, good Lord. That's funny. How long ago was that?
Oh, a long time ago. Shit. Yeah. They're just evolving. I was probably late 90s. Yeah, late 90s. Yeah, it used to be coveted. Turkeys used to be coveted in Idaho. Like you had to draw tags. Now they're a pestilence.
Yeah, that's what Avery said. There are quite a few of them in different areas all over the place.
I got a call. I'm not sure I should say this. I better not. Yeah, they got them down a lot.
I've heard that. The in like Kansas and Nebraska, like I was supposed to go with Chris Rowe, but with this Rowe Hunting Resources, as I just jammed 20 pieces of gun in my mouth. He's got an area he guides out there. I was going to go with him and hunt, me and Amy, and we ended up going. But Kansas and Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota some too. But all those areas I've hunted them, and you can get in early season 150 birds walk by you easily if you know where they roost, especially if they're heading to ag land. I mean, there'll be so many you don't know what to do, and it's like a ranger file. They're just coming. And then you go and you hunt. Missouri's a place I've hunted before where you might hunt and get one shot all day, 2 days, 3 days. Well, we're seeing 100 birds a day where we hunt, so we're pretty spoiled. It's a lot different. Hunting mountain birds is like that, though. Like, I hiked in 5.5 miles. I was going to take Amy in there, and it's a kind of a fishing turkey hunt trip. If they're in there, you got a pretty decent chance. And I have my compound. Man, it's a few years ago. We heard them gobbling all night, so I woke up the next morning and waddled my freezing butt over there. I mean, it was cold, and those birds came out of the roost, and obviously living up we were in the wilderness quite a ways, and I hit the box call a little bit, and they strutted right over to me, and I hammered one, and there's 5-6 miles in. I don't know. I mean, for a butterball, that's a lot of work. It's fun, but we cooked it that night on the fire. That's a little bit different hunting compared to got 4 blinds in the back of the truck and 30 decoys and, hopping in a chair. That's the other thing, the chair.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Chairs that open like this, don't get those. They squeak. Those chairs suck. Now there's one, I call it the hemorrhoid. It's the triangle chair.
Yeah.
That one will give you hemorrhoids. It's just a tripod chair, but that one's super quiet. I've got another Ameristep chair that's pretty quiet, but when you get those loud chairs, especially on low windy days and you're trying to pivot to shoot, those big birds aren't dumb. I mean, they start hearing squeaking coming from a box that wasn't there the day before. They're probably not going to hang out.
Well, I got like a $6 tripod chair. I see that you can get them like $200 freaking chairs. Like, holy crap.
It's pretty amazing. As I say that, I think I dropped every bit of $250 on decoys. It's kind of like duck hunters. Turkey hunters get pretty crazy about their stuff. Some of the calls, they're works of art. I'd be afraid to use one. It's like you want to put it on a shelf.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever listen to that episode a long time ago? Gosh, what was Joey Buchanan? You could hardly understand the guy because he's like Mississippi and he's got this super thick accent. But
I'll have to listen to it.
No, man, that guy's a turkey killing machine. And super, super funny.
Well, it's no different. I was talking, Rogan had talked about get me on his podcast when the COVID thing lifts, and a couple of my buddies were like, you got to talk to him about I think he made a comment at one point in time about, giving away spots. He didn't see there was that big of a deal on private land, guys stealing your spots. And without getting bashed for this, if you have a guy hunting in pretty rough areas for turkeys that's putting them down every year, he may not have as many turkeys on the ground as I have. He's a hell of a lot better turkey hunter. I mean, there's a big, big difference. Nebraska, you can shoot 3. Texas, you can shoot 4. Kansas, you can shoot 2. And then you go to a place you can only shoot 1 turkey, and they're heavily pressured. There's a big difference in skill set and body count. We talk about hunting private land. I've called on not necessarily private land, but very good private land ranches for elk. You get a guy that's, let's say, 10 for 10 on there, then you get a guy that shot like a couple cows and a 300 bull and a few raghorns on public land. Yeah, I'm probably going to go hunting with a public land guy. I mean, he's probably a better hunter. The turkey hunting's no different. You get those guys that hunt those public land birds down there. It's an art. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, and they grow up doing them. And they grow up doing it. We just do it because it's a sideshow until bear season gets going.
Pretty much, or high country fishing between those two is. I mean, turkey hunting's fun, but if it's a choice between turkey hunting and shooting a bear, I mean, pretty easy choice.
Somebody just said, Longbow Dan just said turkey decoy stock just rose 200%. It's probably a good call. the Aron Snyder series is coming out.
Well, you know what decoy works good for stalking that ultimate predator?
Is that the one that goes on your bow?
Yeah.
Yes, I got to look into that.
That thing is pretty freaking awesome. My buddy actually owns it, Danny Ferris, but it straps the top and the bottom, and you shoot through the hole. Your riser's right there, and you can strap it at an angle because I can't, so I can strap it at an angle and it's upright. But I've killed with a stick some spot and stock. Now these are dumb birds. That last one I killed, they wouldn't come over to the decoy, so I could see them, and I snuck out and went about a bunch of round bales and hooked over. Anyway, I ended up shooting that bird spot and stock and just stone dead. Boom! Right when I hit it, I couldn't believe it. It was not a. It was a poke, and it was one of my better shots I've made. And watching that nocturnal just fly through the air. But if I wouldn't have had a decoy, I don't know that I would have got the full draw. I had that ultimate predator decoy on, and I don't know that I would have been able to get the full draw.
Yeah, I got to look into that. I think that'd be a hoot, and they use them for like antelope too, right? Antelope are real visual.
Man, we had it for my mountain. I got a mountain goat.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and you know what we're gonna do? The bighorn. It looks like because those owdad are hard to kill.
Oh.
It looks like an owdad, and so that bighorn, we're gonna use that next year because the thing with those owdad, if you can get that extra split second when they're in the cliffs, that makes a huge difference. You get an extra couple 3-5 seconds of some animal looking at you, or at least looking around trying to figure out what's going on. That's a huge difference. And the turkey's no different especially if you're just trying to kill a turkey like a Jake. Dady's got video of them attacking on the bow, coming at him because Jakes aren't overly bright, not usually, right? And so
did you say Jake? Did you say Jake or Jakes?
Jakes. Oh, that's funny. Oh,
I would say that might. Yeah, that might bring them into my maximum effective range. If they're attacking the end of my broadhead, I got a pretty good shot.
I was just talking. I was going to go out and hunt with Danny if I can, and his whole thing, he wants me to skewer him. He wants me to hit the turkey before it leaves a string, and he can call. And then with that decoy, it's feasible to do. The thing that's nice with that ultimate predator, if you're going to hunt on the ground, is you put a couple decoys out in front of you, and then you have that, on your bow. That definitely ups the odds if you're going to ground hunt, with a stick bow.
I just had Michael Richardson chimed in, and it's probably a good call. He said he'd be afraid to use one in Pennsylvania, and he's not sure it's legal. But yeah, there is a safety factor when you start talking about decoys and stuff. So
yeah, and we're in bow only season. So
is there that's a bow only season? I didn't know they had that.
Yeah, I got to make sure in all fairness, you strap an elk to a pack, first thing you get some dude on the internet saying that's stupid, right? So I get it. And we'll put orange on or whatever. Obviously, if it's for a photo, no one wants to see orange draped all over it. With the decoy, it definitely, even in gun season, if you're on private land, people can poach, people can trespass. In all fairness, where we're at, it's a bow only season. If I die from somebody poaching with a bow that close, it's just my time, and I'll sing my war song with pride. I mean, I'm going to take that risk, but with gun season, I totally agree. Especially on public land, yeah, you can get shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a big deal about turkey reaping. So I didn't know there was such controversy over turkey hunting. So I guess you put and I don't know the lingo, I'm sure people do, you put a fan on your barrel. And I think that's reaping or fanning. No, that's reaping. And then fanning is something else. And I guess there's controversy over if you should do it or not or something. I'm not in the turkey world. I just throw up some decoys and hope for the best.
It's like it's unethical or something?
Yeah. Huh. Which I can tell you right now, you put a fan on the end of a barrel, that definitely puts it at another level. I mean, that's like having an e-collar in your pocket for calling elk.
Yeah.
For guys like you and I don't give a shit. But for people that actually pay attention in different states, I can see how it'd be a guy using an e-collar probably for elk, that state-of-the-art e-collar that can't call, and the next thing you know, he's got an e-collar in his pack calling in bulls. Dude, it's a way bigger deal than I thought, because I was reading on turkey forums. Sweet baby Jesus, it's like Democrat, Republican.
Wow.
Holy moly. Oh, man, it's people take turkey hunting serious. You and I make jokes about it. They were like, I thought people were going to fight. Like, so I guess turkey reaping, though, is having one on your barrel, and then fanning is getting in and then popping the fan up, maybe. Now, I used to have a decoy that I pulled a string, and the fan would pop up, and you let it down. And I can tell you, without a doubt, once they're in the mood, you get that thing out in front of you, and there's a bird 150 yards away, you pop that fan up, it works. They're coming, right? And I would face it to me, stake it to the ground, and there'd be a string, and I'd pull that string, and that fan would pop up. It worked. I could see how somebody would not like that if it was a state where people cared.
I suppose if that's what you live for, you might get wound up, but I think that's kind of funny.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's all a matter of perspective, right? You and I don't really get too worried about turkeys, right? I guess people do. I was reading this and I'm like, it's a bird. Like, holy cow. These people are cussing and screaming, calling each other dumb shits. I was like, wow, this is pretty serious. Probably the same thing with duck hunting. I'm not in that world either, but.
Well, they're the ones that probably get mad seeing you lay down so many birds and you make it look easy, and they're hunting the hollers with Econ ridges and.
I'm definitely hunting the dumb birds. That's my plan the rest of my life, is hunt stupid turkeys. And I'm not against going to hunt more difficult ones. There just has to be a lot of other stuff not going on.
I did just have one question pop up. What blind are you using? I know you talked about just big and roomy.
So we have a few. Barnett is probably the best one. It's super durable. We have a rhino blind, a couple of Maristeps. I think that's what we got. Maristeps, Barnett, and rhino blind.
You getting I guess you're hunting movement, right? You're not like getting there and fly down zones and all that stuff. So you're not getting out like super early before light.
Oh, we're way before light. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you have especially if you set them up the night before, which we do a lot, right when they roost, we'll move the blind over and into position. We come in way before, try to get in half an hour before legal shooting light, if not a little bit better. And then once they pitch out, we'll kind of decide from there. Later in the season, that once they pitch out and they're on the ground, give it a few minutes, I'll start calling. Other times, we don't put, if we're catching them and this is probably from a guy in a different part of the world, is like, you're out of your mind, but we get in a corridor where we know they're coming to feed. We don't call, we don't do anything. We just wait for them hit the pinch point in the death trap, wait for them to come eat and shoot them on the way over.
Yeah, and again, like I'm the furthest thing from a turkey, having any turkey knowledge, but our seasonal opens up April 15th. They're already flocked up around like the 1st of May, this second week in May. That's when I'll be out, kind of bear scouting, looking for bears. And that's when I find that toms, I can call them in because it seems like the hens are nesting and the toms are out cruising. And that's pretty fun. So Sergeant Sixpack asked if you guys ever
Lander.
Oh, wait, no. Oh,
that's
no.
Jerry Shaw.
Jerry, yeah. He earlier he said Sergeant Sixpack reporting for duty. That's pretty funny.
He killed a turkey with his stick bow last year.
Yeah, he did. He just asked if you'd use a ghost blind or the mirror panel one. Now that is an interesting one. That
my buddy swears by that mirror one. The ghost blind. I haven't used those. I've got buddies that do, but take into consideration, blind time is also email time.
Oh, yeah.
So I get in that blind and I got a backup battery pack. Obviously, some people probably listening to this is sacrilege. I answer questions. Business emails and whatever on my phone when I'm in that blind. So might not work as well. The mirror blind too, basically, I've seen guys, they swear by it, but probably doesn't allow me to move around as much as playing on my phone, answering emails.
Yeah, I always thought that mirror one someday when I get, I don't know, some time away from elk hunting, which may never happen. I really want to chase antelope, and those mirror blinds look like they'd be the ticket for antelope.
Yeah, they could be for sure.
Oh man, a rutting antelope looks so fun, but that's just right in elk season, so it may never happen.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to think of anything else that's super important. Guys ask what calls I use. Use whatever call that makes the best noise for you. Like I said, I've got a couple of slate calls and a box call. If you can use a diaphragm, that's the best. I can use one halfway, all right, enough to, get them to come in. But I'm a big fan of that Lynch box call. I've had it for 20 years probably, and it seems like it's like wine. The older that box call gets, the better it sounds. I use a slick stick, which is it's from Primos, and it's got basically sandpaper on the end of it. And then on the inside, there's chalk, and you've got green SOS pad. You can clean off your striker with it. I keep SOS or green scratch pad and sandpaper, real rough grit sandpaper with me. With a slate call, if it gets wet, it's kind of worthless. So I crystal is a little bit better for bad weather. But again, by no means am I professing my faith in the turkey god. There are way better, turkey hunters than I even claim to be. But I just, if you're hunting them, the blind thing, and the stakes, like a lot of the mistakes I've made as far as that goes, you're going to stake your blind down overnight, use different stakes, make sure you don't have all your windows open, common sense stuff like that. Bottom of the upper third when you're aiming at them is pretty important, things like that. And then as far as the decoys, probably the best luck I've ever had is with a Jake and a hen all the way around. A bedded hen and a Jake, you're not going to probably get the biggest one. Like my bird we just shot, we pulled the fan off of that, stuck it straight to my decoy, and Jake would have not. He shot a giant bird. He wouldn't have killed that bird without that fan on there.
Really?
There's the only bird that came to him out of all, however many came up, it came over, and his daughter was with him.
Oh, yeah.
We took that fan and spread it out and put it where the fake fan was. I don't know how many times I looked over, jumped up because I thought it was a real bird. Getting that real fan in there makes a huge difference. But at least this way, guys can get on the stick bow page and go back and forth. Maybe we can get a reaping discussion because
well, I'm laughing because I'm thinking about like the cover for this episode. And, it's going to be you with your two turkeys, and it's going to say, Aron Snyder makes turkey hunting easy. He's got it figured out.
You know how to make turkey hunting easy?
Yeah, and then I'll advertise it over on a turkey forum or something. Aron Snyder, the turkey master.
I'm glad. Like I've said multiple times, I am not a turkey hunting expert. Dude, I get around those guys, and they're like, crow calling and owl hooting with their voice, and I'm afraid to get my box call out. I'm hiding it. Like I'm not going to try. I'm going to look stupid if I call in front of these guys. It is truly. Down south, dude, it is a big, like I met Eddie Salter at a Denny's and Alex Rutledge, nicest dudes in the world. And for people who don't know who those guys are, Eddie Salter is kind of a turkey hunting legend. I mean, he's just a super cool dude. But just at Denny's, they came over, started shooting shit with us, and those guys, they were owl hooting and crow calling in the Denny's parking lot, and Eddie Salter's just gobbling, and I was like, Jesus, I don't belong in this guy's presence as far as turkey hunting goes. They take it serious out down there.
Oh yeah, that's how my buddy is from Missouri. What he can mouth call, I couldn't do with a slate box training. I couldn't do with an e-call.
Yeah, it is amazing. But yeah, so that's my best advice. Hunt dumb turkeys.
There you go. Aron Snyder making turkey hunting easy.
Or my buddy, I shouldn't even say this, you might have edit this out, but in Texas, right? This is for deer, but you can bait in Texas, right? And you're not going to probably kill very big bucks on bait in Texas. That bucks don't come into it. But dude, we were over where all the corn was, and he did like a off the hip commercial about a cover scent and attractant, and he was rolling around in the corn, splashing on himself, and he's like, all I can say is this is the best cover scent, better than Hex, better than scent blocker. All you need to get yourself is some corn, and then he would roll around in it, and he was smeared. He's laughing so hard. Because, dude, that is another, in Texas, you just have corn, right? That's how it is. And that gets people riled up. I mean, hunt another dumb animal, and I can tell you right now, animals coming to corn on land that's heavily hunted aren't dumb. They're hard to kill. Tim King, he talked about it. I can tell you, I have seen gifted killers go to high fence hunt ranches and get their asses handed to them because those deer. I'm not saying I agree with. I've never hunted a high fence ranch. I wouldn't give a shit if I did. I just never have. When think as a human, you're stuck in a fence, right? 4,000 acres, 2,000 acres. Your food source is handed to you, and you've gotten shot at it before. You're not just strolling in there like you're walking into freaking Wendy's, right? My buddy filmed this one deer. I don't think that deer, he looked like Carlos Hathcock when he took out that kernel. We're talking inches every minute. Like, and I'm like, dude, that's not even fun. And so I'm not advocating high fence hunt ranches or anything. I don't care. I'm just saying, in perspective, you start feeding an animal. If it's in a spot that's illegal, it's going to be super easy to kill them. It's illegal. You're not supposed to do it. They're not used to it. When your food source, you have some fat dude in a tree shooting at you, you might get a little skittish. And so my buddy, though, when he was doing that skit rolling around in the corn, I literally almost pooped my pants laughing because you see the Tink 69 and the scent blocker and the Hex. Corn does fix a lot of problems in certain areas, but it isn't a gimme. In some areas, when you can corn all the time, they come in skittish. Alabama was like that, man. You can't even hunt over corn. You can have feeders, but I think you got to be 200 yards away. Those deer aren't stupid. I mean, you can watch from the spotter, and when those deer come into those feeders, I'm not shitting you. They don't mess around, man. I mean, they're on cracked out, like a squirrel chirps. They're dropping, and I was like, Jesus. Frank was laughing. It's wild, and it's all. It's not just generational, it's geographical. If you talked about hunting corn out west, you're unethical, right? But you go down to Texas and you don't have corn, they're like, well, what's the problem? I mean, they have corn down there. There's a feeder everywhere. So it's crazy how much big debates you get in over that stuff too. I just hang back, not say much.
First off, when you were describing a high fence ranch, with the feeding them, for some reason I was thinking Hunger Games. but I was in Georgia or South Carolina, one of the two. I'd never been around those feeders, that automatic feeders.
That shit when it went off.
Oh my gosh! So I'm sneaking. I'm like full stealth mode. I feel like I'm a lizard crawling through. Snakes and alligators. I'm like oozing like a shadow. And one of those feeders went off. Dude, I turned inside out. Holy crap. Yeah, shit in my pants was the least of that doesn't describe it at all.
That hog I shot down in Texas with Sloan, and I don't know if the other guy wants me to mention his name. It was his ranch. He's super cool dude. So the pig I shot was on the ground, and the next night I said, hey, I'm just going to sit on a feeder and see if they come in. And the only thing that came in was a raccoon. Same thing. I'm half asleep. That feeder went off. I about shit myself. I wasn't ready for it because you're not used to, birds are tweeting, squirrels are going off, rabbits are jumping around. That thing goes off. Jesus, that gave me a start. You're not used to it. And I mean, obviously with hogs or whatever, they come in like last light. So the feeder's like an hour before light, it goes off, I guess. But
I never even heard the noise before.
Yeah. Well, if you're not around the feeder culture,
I freaking prolapsed, man.
I texted Sloan. I said, Jesus, dude, that feeder just went off. I think I shit my pants. I was like, I'm going to change my undies when I get back. because I just wasn't, ready for it. But, the more areas you hunt, no different than you're talking about turkey reaping, and you and I turkey hunting. I'm like, it's just a turkey. It's a big deal.
The other one, after I heard that, and now I knew what it was, I saw later that they actually make e-collars with that sound on it.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense because it's like a dinner bell. You know what? When I was helping my buddy bait in Idaho, he beat on the bucket
drum,
or whatever to let him know he dumped it off. So I guess that makes sense.
Just to be clear, you're talking bears. We don't need to go get people excited. Bears. I did have, I think I talked about it one time, a long time ago on a podcast. I had a buddy years ago call me because somebody in his family had killed something, and he wanted to cape it. He wanted me to cape it. He didn't know how to cape. So I get over there and I'm pretty stoked for him. And, I'm caping this thing. When I cape, I work from the neck forward. So the last thing I'm doing is sticking my fingers in their mouth to cut around the gum line. So I stick my fingers in this buck's mouth, and I'm like, I pull it back out, and it's got corn on it. I mean, we're in northern Idaho. Corn doesn't just naturally grow anywhere. So I said to my buddy, I'm like, hey, what the hell is this? And he looks at me real sheepish. He's like, well, that's alfalfa. Like, all right.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Well, we probably should stop talking about this or get ourselves in trouble, and I get some dude pissed at me laughing about turkey reaping.
Yep. Right on. Cool, man. Sounds like a good time. We'll be in touch. Sounds good.
Yeah. Heading to Texas tomorrow, so hopefully we're doing more turkey reaping without a fan.
Well, keep us posted.
Yeah, I will. All right, thanks, man.
You bet. Later.